Okay, so welcome to our game of Agadon. I am actually going to put in fact, can I put all of this into? Yeah, I don't think there's any spoilers in this, so I'm going to make a new text channel for handouts. I'm going to put this into handouts for people to be able to read at their leisure. Sort of the overview of the world. Um, which I created a few days ago. Let's see. Data, D&D, come to, story, chapter 1, World of Agadon. So, the reason I wanted you guys to wait for session 0 before we did any character creation, like any hard character creation, was you guys are in the world of Agadon, which is fairly young, about 5,000 years old. Magic is still volatile, and there's gargantuan creatures that roam the skies, the oceans, and the stars. I'm just going to read this verbatim now. Countries and continents constantly changing and reshaping. Humanoid creatures have expanded at a furious pace, picking out plots of land to grow villages, towns, and cities. There are plenty of small settlements, but large strongholds, while not exactly rare, are not as frequent as they could be. This is due to the world being host to a conflict of epic proportions. Dragons versus giants. Two hated foes that are constantly trying to undo the other. Both are common sights for regular folk. Too often has a farmer been in the middle of tending to his flock only for a hill giant to take a swathe of the livestock into his gullet, or for a fisherman to be out in the water only for his path to be blocked off by a sea of ice that a white dragon has created in a fight with a fire giant. While this might sound like a hellscape for the common folk, it has come with its benefits. Giants and dragons, rather than hating the smaller creatures around them, have realized that they can be beneficial to the cause in wiping out the other. Depending on where you are in Agadon, you will find settlements under the protection of giants or dragons. For every sheep the hill giant has eaten, they will lend their magic to making the lands more fertile. For every trapped fisherman the white dragon may trap, a small trinket may be released from its treasure hoard to create food or water, or other things. This is not to say that moving against their resident overlord does not come with consequences. There are very small factions that are at constant war with the dragons and giants, creating a small pocket of resistance, calling themselves the Free Cities. Currently, they are so few and far between that the War of Claw and Club has not given them much thought, but a giant slain or a dragon felled will always come with some kind of retaliation. You might ask yourself why this hated rivalry between two races. The answer is as old as the cosmos. Looking up at the sky over several nights can see the stars and moons shift as the heavens reflect the ever-persistent fight between the gods of dragons and giants. While Bahamut and Tiamat are still hated rivals of each other, they can sometimes have a tenuous truce while they fight Ananam and Grolantor. This bending in rivalry to fight a common foe can be seen in Agadon as well. It's a rare sight, but you can sometimes see a cloud giant stoop to help a hill giant in a fight against a dragon, or a gold and red dragon working in tandem to take down a giant siege engine. Conscription is ever-present force in Agadon. As previously mentioned, dragons and giants have spotted that commoners have their uses in the War of Claw and Club. Often they will call for tribute from their protected lands to help in the war effort, and can sometimes take the form of manpower. Whether it's a full company of townsfolk in the hope that some will prove useful, or rise through the ranks, or rumours of an exceptional individual has reached the ears of a nearby dragon nest or giant stronghold recruiter, and they draft them by any means necessary before they fall to the other side. That is the general gist of the world of Agadon. So, you guys are starting off having been drafted into a giant stronghold. Specifically, give me a second to get the name up. The giant stronghold is... Should have had this open in front of me. Anam Drahadun. So, this is why I wanted to wait for you guys to go over your backstories and stuff. I am totally happy with you guys to have been in a company that got drafted, an individual off by themselves that happened to wander into the giant stronghold, or anything you wish, but your backstory has to finish somehow with you guys being in the stronghold of Anam Drahadun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, with that, let's talk character creation. That's really it. Rules are fairly simple. I'm fairly easygoing. A lot of it will be rules as written, but I'm happy enough to be flexible about things. Like I said, I'm not going to be okay with like using something like create and destroy water to try and flood someone's lungs out. But if you want to, this magic does spell doesn't quite say this or whatever, as long as I don't think you're taking the piss, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to work with homebrew. I'm willing to work with whatever. Um, a lot of the different homebrew rule ideas have already come in the 2024 handbook. Like I think I've made a slight change to how the sleep spell works, but it doesn't matter. Just be present and be engaged as possible. If there's any kind of conflicts between like maybe you don't fully agree on a ruling I have or anything like that, I'm happy to discuss it. I don't want to drag the game down, or take too long on things. So it could be a case of this is what we're going to do this time, and then we'll have a discussion offline, and maybe it'll change going forward. But it is, at the end of the day, DM's law. Not to sound like a dick, but it is kind of the thing. So yeah, that's really it. Alex and Michael kind of know the kind of DM I am. I'm fairly flexible. So
Very cruel.
sometimes hit me with your character ideas or what you guys want to do or discuss. If you have any questions for me, I'm all ears.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm not. I just wanted to get the rules for broad character creation on D&D Beyond. So, for example, things like leveling up. Are we rolling for hit point dice, or are we using the average roll for all levels beyond level 1?
Whichever you want. If you want to take
Whichever
the
you want.
risk, if you want to take the risk and roll, roll. If you want to take the average, take the average. I'm not going to force something on everybody. Oh, that's stats. I tend to go with roll 4d6 and take one, which would just be the rolled version on D&D Beyond, and you can assign them wherever you want. I have heard some people looking for point buy. If you want to do point buy, that's fine, but I'd want everybody to be doing the same thing. So I will let you guys decide, but you need to have a consensus on whether it's going to be rolled or point buy.
I completely don't mind doing point buy. It's just the question of kind of if I for example wanted to play a ranger, I do need at least a 15 in wisdom and dexterity ideally, and then a 14 in con, maybe a 13 in strength, blah 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 blah. That's quite a lot of stats. So I can do that with point buy, but if I just don't get the stats I need, it's like, well, I guess I can't play a ranger anymore. I have to switch to something like a cleric, which only needs wisdom. So
Yeah.
I don't mind, but it's just that challenge. I'm happy to give it a go.
Yeah, see, like I say, discuss it with everyone else and see what the consensus is. I'm happy enough either way.
I think point buy is fairly flexible with that, whereas I think you can get pretty unlucky with rolling.
Yeah, I know Marmaduke from the previous campaign. I was just like, yep, I've got a fucking 12 or 14 or 16 in every stat, so this is fun. But I can really imagine just my luck will change. I'll be on the opposite side of that equation.
Maybe do a vote now, and everyone can say what they prefer to do.
Yeah, I will put a 2-day long poll. That should give everybody enough time. I can do that now. Create a poll.
Should we do some rolling at the table here for fun, or are we doing this offline and based on trust, or what do you think?
I don't mind. We're not going to have everyone here.
Yeah, this is true.
Stat creation. Also, the D&D roller doesn't feel as fun as doing it on... As in, like, for... what do you call it? Stats. Yeah. For some reason, it doesn't have 2 days. It has 24 hours or 3 days. So, 3 days. There we go. And people can choose.
Cool.
Yeah. So, do you guys have anything else for me? This isn't. Otherwise, it's going to be the world's shortest session 0. I suppose probably talk about if you guys have anything you're uncomfortable with. Whenever I was first playing, I probably wasn't the most. I'm still not particularly PC, but I probably put things in, like Michael's character in a couple of positions he shouldn't have been. Also, when I found out that Michael has a real life phobia of spiders, I threw a phase spider at him. Kind of a dick move, but I thought it was funny. Looking back, not that funny. So if you guys have anything that you
No.
don't
I'm fine with everything you put me in because
Okay.
I handled it the way I would handle it.
Yeah.
To put it so
The quickest route to roleplay using real life trauma.
Yeah.
There
Set
was-
everything on fire and we're fine.
there was
Players not engaged. Try this one weird chick. They don't want you to know.
before I started playing D&D, I enjoyed watching Dice Camera Action, and they started off with Curse of Strahd, and they had like a one of the vampires in Strahd's tower is like they played him as like jealous of a character that kind of got kidnapped, and so I did that with Michael's character, but things went a little like rapey. Not cool, not cool. I understand now it's not cool, but nothing actually happened, but the vibe was a bit not great. So I wouldn't go that far again, to make it perfectly clear. I'm not suggesting anything like that, but if there's anything you guys aren't up for, just let me know. Or if you can't think of it now,
Did I not kill that guy?
I think so. I think you probably did. And like I say, I'm not gonna put players in that kind of thing again. Everyone was laughing at the table. Looking back, not happy with that. So, if you guys have anything on it, just let me know.
To be honest, I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything like in character in game that really bothers me. I'm not afraid to say, like, you know, for example, if I'll quite happily let other people take the spotlight, but for example, if we've done 3 sessions straight of nothing but roleplay, I might say like, wow, could use a combat or something like that. But yeah, it's a team effort. I think all of my out of character stuff is more like table etiquette, but annoyingly the players at my table who kind of know my preferences in table etiquette are not here. But it's things like, everyone try and be engaged, everyone try and take, you know, relatively speedy turns. Things that the DM can do help with that, like, you know, kind of you're up next or so on. But broadly speaking, everyone should know what they're doing more or less. Try and be on time. Try not to drop out at the last moment. Things like that.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a new fear of dragons. So if we don't have a lot of them, it'd be pretty good.
See for that.
It's really interesting because my character is phobic of giants. So
Oh, see.
But you guys are starting on the side of the giants. You're just gonna be a constant disadvantage.
Yeah, wisdom saves all day.
Yeah, I suppose when it comes to that sort of stuff, I typically run a slightly more roleplay ship than a combat ship, simply because I think D&D combat can be a bit of a slog. Now, that could potentially be some of the players I had previously. If everyone's engaged and everyone's willing to, you know, take slightly faster turns, you don't need to know exactly what you're doing because the battlefield changes fairly frequently. And with above VTT, which we'll be using, so yes, make sure you've got above VTT. That shows you your combat tracker and stuff like that, so that'll make life a little easier to know who's coming up on what. So I will try to be even. But yeah, if you're having like, ooh, we could do with a bit of a combat, I can roll around an encounter or something like that.
I would never want to be a pain. It's more just
7 weeks of roleplay in Strixhaven was a bit much.
And then we're getting to the nitty gritty of, like, you know, roll for how well that conversation with your pal Jeff went, and it's like, oh my god, what are we doing?
I suppose I try not to make people roll for the sake of rolling. I do try and be like, you know, look, though you're only gonna have to roll to open a door if the door's locked, kind of thing. You know, I'm not gonna be like, you walk over the XP to level 3 does a really funny skit about making your players roll for everything. I'm not gonna be like, You walk over there, roll for it. Roll me an athletics check. See how well you can use your legs or anything like that. I suppose setup wise from people, I would appreciate if people had cameras on. Just otherwise, I'm talking to myself to a bunch of blank tiles. If people don't want their cameras on, or if their computers can't handle it, I'm not gonna be a dick about it. I'm like, oh, if you don't have a camera, you can't play it. It's a slightly nicer experience for me.
What if you're just being lazy?
I'm quite happy to do it also, but I just, yeah, if I'm the only player doing it, I suddenly feel like that Niall's looking at me only. I'm like, right, okay.
Yeah, Michael, no more playing naked.
I'd appreciate it if you weren't lazy. Let's just
Yeah, but it's all the way over there, and you have to move.
Okay, so
Oh.
for today, that's fine. But when you next get up from your desk, you just go and get it. When you gotta go pee, you go and get it, you bring it back.
It's a thought. It's a thought. I'll give you that.
But yeah, like I'm not gonna be.
Yeah,
We don't know how
I'll sort it for next time.
And then we use obviously D&D Beyond, and we use Above VTT, which is currently the best way I find to play online D&D for battle maps and stuff like that. I think D&D Beyond are working for their own integrated one, which my last
It's getting
campaign
there.
lasted for 4 years, so this one could have it fully polished by the time while we're still playing this, so we might transition to that. We'll just see how it goes. My other thing is I need to get a new laptop because it can make my laptop chug a little bit, but hey ho, is what it is.
Shall we start discussing characters?
Absolutely, I'm here for characters. Let's go.
I'm not going to speak for any of my absent players. I know I can mention themes that were discussed, like
You know who
one
you
player
are. If you watch this back, you know who
you know who you are. Yeah, there was a mention of a kind of a satyr wizard, kind of on a kind of Mormon mission from the Feywild to kind of learn the elements. So they wanted to like learn a different element every thing.
A satyr. A satyr that'll have magic resistance on it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
No, I literally said the same thing. I was like, satyrs are bullshit class. So, for example, Mage Slayer got changed from whatever it was to proficiency bonus times per day. You basically get legendary resistance on magical saving throws. And I thought, oh, that's a much better way to handle than just constant advantage on these things.
That's cool.
But anyway, yes, satyrs are fun like that. I know also Celestial Warlocks were mentioned. I can't speak for anyone else. Sorry if I'm speaking too much. My character idea that I've been talking about for 2 years, but I'm also sensitive to ideas of theming, was essentially very much a kind of town guard red shirt with a crossbow who walks around on the city walls, goes into the sewers and gets attacked by mind flayers, gets a tadpole in his head, but then rather than becoming an aberrant mind sorcerer who can lift the dead, raise the dead or anything like that, he's just like a guy and rats follow him around. And then as he levels up, he basically gets deformed by this attack, and sort of he goes off and becomes a bounty hunter in the wilds. And everywhere he goes, rats seem to follow him about, and he's annoyed by it. And then when he gets to level 3, he'll discover that he's a swarm keeper ranger. But instead of it being like the spirits of nature are with me, he's like, I can get these swarms of rats to go attack my foes.
I
the
really
cranium
like
rat.
that.
Yeah.
I
Obviously,
really like
I can keep the kind of mind flayer element of itness to a minimum in this campaign in terms of like, yeah, there was an extra planar attack. We don't know the details.
No, absolutely not. Like, the game will start off as Giants versus Dragons, but the thing is, I love working with my players' backstories. I hadn't really considered mind flayers too much outside of the Elder Brain Dragon, potentially doing something with that. So you could have potentially stumbled upon or be on the outskirts of like an Elder Brain Dragon lair if you go back there. The whole place is infested. Like I love that idea. Just because it doesn't fit in my little tiny theme. Absolutely, let's blow this bitch apart. Let's absolutely. The more you give me, the more I can work with.
In our current campaign that's not quite finished yet, I was like, oh, I want to be a wizard that works for like a monster slayers guild, and then we ended up like doing a bunch of missions for them, and we still use them as like contacts now, even though my wizard's dead. So
it's really helpful. That kind of stuff helps me build out my world.
He's not dead. He's just dust right now. He's still technically there.
Oh wait, do I need to write 2 end game paragraphs for Ben and for Vaughan?
You can. I kind of know what I'm doing with Vaughan, but you can.
Okay.
because he is your character. But so when it comes to species, I will accept any species from that has been written in 2014, any extended 2024, whatever you want. Let bring it. Kind of the same with 2014 classes, because I know there's no artificer. I know there's a lot of subclasses that haven't been ported over. I'm not entirely sure how it will work to bring it to 2024ize it, but I will do what I can. It might cause a little slight imbalance, like if you're a 2014 cleric who's taken this subclass, if you might not, I'm not rewriting a whole class in D&D Beyond, so you'll get your stuff when you get your stuff. You know, and you're just gonna have to make your peace with that. That's the trade-off. But whatever people want to play, I'm happy enough with. Apart from, I'll give you your epic boons. I know epic boons are really important. If we get to level 20, you'll get your epic boons and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Cool.
Well, that answers my question.
or if you want, you can rewrite the subclass verbatim and put it in the 2024 thing. Again, I'm not gonna do that because I have a whole fucking story to write. But if you want to do that, so you get like your reworked class features from the core class and stuff like that, go for it. As long as it's verbatim.
Yeah, so I would love to hear other players' characters. I think in terms of just also ideas and also in terms of balance, like it's not absolutely necessary to have like, you know, a cleric as rogue or thingy, but it does help a little bit. Also, I think players at my table are like looking at the campaign that's already been joined and being like, oh, someone's already a barbarian, I guess I can't be a barbarian. I was like, well, they're not necessarily locked in. And also very fun to have two different characters of the same class, you know, a really honorable paladin and a really cheeky, you know, kind of nihilistic paladin. Always really fun.
I totally agree with that. The only thing is, I had two rogues in a previous game, and they were both kind of vying to fill the same role. So make sure that you're not.
Yeah, you're agreed to kind of pull apart.
Yeah, because if you're both want to
Like,
be like the lockpicking,
you both are tanks. You're gonna work together rather than be like, I'm the tank. No, I'm the tank.
Yeah, like if you both want to be the lockpicking thief type, there's only one door. You know, like you're gonna have to either take turns or go a slightly different route with one of them. But as long that's for the players to figure out between them. I'm not gonna. If you want to do a party of just barbarians, they'll be fucking hilarious. Let's go. You know.
Yeah. Cool.
Next person's up, unless Fergus has got any more stuff he wants to go through.
No, I've got backup ideas, but let's hear some other people.
So I've currently got a Goliath Barbarian. I'm not 100% set, so if somebody else really wants to play Barbarian, I was looking at Illrigger and also Paladin, so I'm up in the air. But as of now, a Frost Giant Goliath with Path of the World Tree Barbarian. And I went Farmer because that was the background and like the stats and feat I wanted.
Okay.
I'm also a farmer.
As you already said, we could do some custom backgrounds. I might change it so I'm not a farmer, but I'll get those stats I wanted.
Go for it. It's just a game at the end of the day.
But I need to come up with some sort of backstory for it. I like to build my character first and then come up with a backstory for why they are like that, rather than the other way around.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm kind of the same. But yeah, throw whatever you want at it. If you are coming up with, obviously you're going to come up with like locations and stuff. Try and give them names. You don't need to worry about where they necessarily are in the world. I'll pick out a spot for them in one of the continents or whatever. But just try and give them names and things like that. So I'm like, okay, this is blah 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 and stuff.
Oh, one question. You know, you said we're in this giant stronghold to begin with. What flavour of giant are we starting off with?
Excuse
me. If
me.
it's Frost Giant, that might make my life really easy.
I would, I can tell you that the first giant you were going to interact with was going to be a Frost Giant. Genuinely, I've had it written down for weeks. It was going to be a Frost Giant. It's all the giants kind of are in the strongholds in varying numbers, kind of.
Okay, so it's not like it's a Hill Giant one, a Frost Giant one, whatever.
No, the main strongholds will be like an amalgamation of giants within with numbers sort of representative of the ordning. There might not be a single storm giant. They might come about one every 100 years or so, with maybe like a cloud giant being the commanding officer, and then you've got like hundreds of hills and stone giants because they're like the foot soldiers or stuff. So you'll see a fair decent amount of frost giants.
Sounds good.
Are you allowed to be from the free cities?
You can be from the free cities, and you might have a
Then you
slightly
have to
more
work
like
way
kidnappy
up
feel.
to. Okay,
It could be
I was wondering that.
because if you are, I would suggest if you were going to be a free city person that you're rather than being part of like a company, you could very easily have just wandered into the giant stronghold and they like the look of you, or maybe you are like a person of note who's done a couple of things, and maybe you've like not like killed a dragon or something, but you've like, I don't know, wrecked the dragon egg or some shit or something like that. Like you've maybe moved against the dragons in some way, and the giants are like, we're having you, or like you've pulled some relic out or some shit. Something like that. You're someone of note, maybe, who's done something cool, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have
Just a humble farmer.
just a humble farmer." Maybe you've got like, if you're a druid, maybe your crops never fail, or like you've got the biggest crops, or some shit like that. Something to be like, maybe this guy's got a touch of magic or something. Up to you.
I'll look into that, but
Prize winning turnips.
Exactly.
see the starting see the starting equipment
Yes.
for 2024. Is it a bit crazy?
I don't know. I've not looked at it. I've not made a
Is-
2025
You
character.
get
You get a lot of
decent amount
gold.
of shit.
Really?
Like as a
Yeah.
farmer
You also
and
get
like a druid starting equipment, I can pick to have like leather armor and all this stuff, or 50 gold. And the farmer starting equipment, I can also then just choose
your
to have
background
50
and your
gold.
class both give you the option of gold or equipment, and if you choose gold both times, you can just start with 200 gold. Just start off with like half plate or whatever.
No.
But then that means you can spend that then to be like, oh, actually, I'm playing a paladin and I want plate armor, which is going to cost you a lot of money. So
You get a head start on that. I quite liked it, to be honest. There's a lot of really smart ideas in Intuition.
I was just checking to see if it was like correct.
If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I will say, you then have like, if that's 100 gold, you then have 100 gold to kit yourself out. You know, all your weapons, all your armor and stuff. So you might start with 100 gold, but by the end of it, you might only have 50 or less, depending on what you go for. So you might be a paladin that's decked out to the nines in plate armor, but can't afford a sword or some shit, you know, which would be a fun challenge. But that's the payoff. That'd be really hilarious, actually. Some like noble paladin spent all his fucking fortune on his armor that he's got embellished and is really proud of, polished perfectly. Has no sword.
Definitely giving off those Marmondale vibes.
This is the plate armor.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, Dylan is the only one here that doesn't play an Strixhaven game. Fergus's character Marmondale is very sort of like snooty elf. Is like, I am Marmondale Fenar, and like thinks very highly of himself.
Because he's an artificer and he gets to do like, you can tap any object and it starts, saying a simple phrase. I basically got really upset about people touching my stuff because it's like a college uni kind of vibe. So I'd go around tapping things saying, this is the, pencil sharpener of Marmaduke Fenar.
This is the cheese block of Marmaduke Fenar.
Reminds me of Tarion from Critical Role Season 1.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I am so mixed on Tarion. I don't know. I get it, but like, he's fun, but I don't understand how he's such a crowd favorite. Like,
He took me a little minute to warm up to because his scanning left, and then he came in.
But one of my players, Sridhar, by the way, apologizes and says he'll be on in 2 minutes. He just slept through.
Oh, okay, no worries.
That's good.
Fair play to him. Yeah, I understand 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is a bit of a shit start time, but Alex is a kid. I have 2 kids. It's really the best time for us to start. So, smash a Red Bull, have a nap. I don't know what to tell you. If like this is just the time it's going to start at.
Yeah, I told players that.
Oh, how many times did you have to ring Jim because he'd fallen asleep?
Jim, I love Jim. Jim is a great player.
He's a
and
good laugh, isn't he?
he's without internet at the minute. When he gets his internet sorted, he's gonna potentially join if he's still interested, and depending on how far we are in the campaign. So, excuse me, Dylan, you've been suspiciously quiet. You got any character ideas?
I actually do have a pretty cool one. So, based on what you said before, I'm thinking Artificer. And I was actually planning on being from one of the free cities,
Okay.
but I left to help the more independent villages, so the ones that are kind of on the border between the giant and
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
dragon. And basically, I've gone to try and help them become independent. And so, as an artificer, I go and help make magical items to make sure they don't depend on either side.
I really like that. I really like
And then-
that, and the fact that you're able to make magical items would definitely get you noticed.
That's it.
Cool. So to give a wee, I suppose that prompts a little bit more insight to the stronghold without giving too much away. Typically, fire giants, they're usually your smiths and stuff like that. They're responsible for like kitting out the rest of the giants. Excuse me, and some of the smaller folk that live in their stronghold. So they're always looking for new techniques and stuff like that. So they could potentially be like, we want to get this guy, and like make him prove himself, and then maybe you could get like a job as like an apprentice smith or something like that. Would be cool. So I really like that as a concept. Couldn't think of the word there. So far we have a ranger, an artificer, a potential barbarian, and a druid. So that's not bad so far. It's fairly balanced. Little lacking on magic, but it depends what Michael does with his druid.
Yeah, so my ideal kind of progression for my character is very much like ranged fighter in terms of just crossbow damage and less kind of spell casting. But I can obviously flavor around. Also, proficiencies wise, if we don't have anybody who wants to take the role of sneaky rogue, I can quite happily pick up stealth and sleight of hand and start doing that.
I have my entire time. I have been enveloped in D&D. I've been looking for a rogueless party. Everyone fucking takes a rogue.
I know.
To be fair, it's
I'm
2024.
quite happy to leave it, but I'd prefer not to. If my
I
character's next
I
card
do
is, like,
semi
not really
feel like
got off
half of Niall's battle with Rogue is having two rogues in his party, and like for a long time, it's sort of like turned him against them because they're not that bad.
The 2024 rogues are fucking cool. I'll admit that their whole skill monkey thing is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I just started throwing traps left, right, and center, and one of them was one of them was a full rogue, and then left and came back as a half rogue, half warlock. Same character, just respect. And then they were all of a sudden shit at finding traps and disarming them, so she got absolutely blasted. Which I suppose is another handy segue. If you try something with your character, like, I'm not enjoying this, I want to change my subclass, I want to change my class completely, there can be some kind of MacGuffin or something happens to your character. We can make it either a long story, or maybe you pull a card out of the deck of many things or something, and we can rework it as long as you're not doing it all the time. You need to settle on something, but if you want to if you're like not really enjoying this forever, then it's no problem.
Are we having the new stronghold mechanic from DMG?
Oh, bastions. Yeah, they're kind of cool.
I don't know. It depends what you guys do. Like, I am setting up the story of the giants versus the dragons, but please don't do this. But if on like session 1 you decide I'm going to walk out of the giant stronghold, find the giant stronghold, find the nearest dragon city, and join the dragons, you absolutely can. Like, or you could join the free cities, or you do your own thing. It's up to you guys, and depending on your actions, maybe you'll get a bastion, maybe. What the fuck just happened? Oh. In the Wi-Fi driver. Hello.
Hi.
I am really sorry. Part of the reason why I need a new laptop is every now and again, at complete random, might not do it for a few weeks, the Wi-Fi driver just drops, and for like 2 minutes, I have no internet. So if that happens in game, I apologize, but there's literally nothing I can do about it apart from getting a new laptop. Hello, sir.
This is the Sridhar. Hi.
Hi there, guys. Sorry for the wait.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yes.
I know 9 o'clock is a bit of a shit time to start, but unfortunately, it's really the only time that works for me, basically. So I'll catch you up on what we've discussed so far. We gave a bit of an overview of like the general story, which I've put into the handout section. This session and kind of all sessions going forward, I'm going to try and record and upload on the YouTube as like an unlisted video, so that if people miss a session, they can watch it, they can catch up. I don't know how it's going to work with like copyrighted music and stuff. It might can the audio, at which point there's no point. But you'll be able to see what we've discussed so far on the video if you choose to watch it. Kind of gone over character ideas. So Fergus is a ranger, Dylan is an artificer, Michael's a druid, and Alex is thinking about a barbarian, but is saying he's flexible across a couple of classes. We have a poll in place to see if people want to do D&D rolling, like D&D Beyond rolling for character stats, or if you want to do point buy. I think we're sort of settling on point buy, is what I'm gathering.
Fergus was telling me you were gonna think about rolling. It sounded quite interesting. Yeah.
So my table has just been point buy only. So I think they've never done it the traditional way. I was just explaining the catfalls of that is like it feels great when you get all 12s. It feels really shit when you get 3 8s.
You have to be lucky. If you came back and you were like, I got nothing higher than a 10, then maybe we'd discuss about potentially allowing you to read
I do think though it does make sense as well, because my brain does like to optimize. So rolling for stats can be quite good for saying put that side of your brain away and just think about the character. But yeah, I'd be quite annoyed if my primary stat wasn't at least, a +3 when I started after I added my +2.
That's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun? Maybe, okay. Maybe not.
Vote in the poll.
So you roll your six values and you put them where you want. So it's not like you have to do them in order.
No, of course. No. Yeah, straight 3d6 down the line is psycho behavior. I don't
know
that's anybody does that.
That's insane. So, do you have any characters in mind or anything like that?
Yeah, so initially I was thinking I'd take a warlock.
Okay.
Then I saw I think there was another person with the same class, so I've got a couple of ideas
that person isn't gonna continue with the campaign. I think there's a couple too many people from what they were hoping for, so they've decided the combat could potentially slog along or whatever. So they're not gonna join. So Warlock is free again. In fact, I'm gonna remove them from the campaign.
I think so. I was thinking, yeah. I'd say primarily I'm thinking Warlock. Or I also do have an idea for fighter or paladin as well. So
I have to say, selfishly, the idea of your celestial Sorlock sounds quite tasty because nobody's wanting to be. Yeah, I'll be the cleric heal bot. But I think you were thinking I'm going to be a Sorlock celestial, but I'm only going to do like fucking fireball and spirit guardians. No healing whatsoever.
You know me.
Yeah, sure, guys. No worries. I've got cure wounds back in the back there. Never use it.
Yeah, just a little bit of a warning when it comes to D&D, I'm kind of a selfish bastard.
Okay.
I'll try not to be this time. Every single time I play as a selfish bastard, but this time it might be a bit different.
Okay.
To be fair, the new Spirit Guardians is a blender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
that's
not
just
looked at it.
double check the background music. Is there any way for me to dial it down a little bit, or
Yeah, if you right click on chip, then you can dial it down a bit.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing when I started crazy.
Yeah, sorry, Chip comes out hard.
Chip's
Chip just goes full
oh,
hard.
I got it. Yeah, I
Um,
got this. It's really loud.
it's just for background music.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as people aren't like flying in the face of other characters. I mean, like, I don't mind a bit of in-party banter, but when it starts to like come to blows, let's not get that far. You know. Yeah, no, that sounds cool. If so, I am fully up for whatever backgrounds, whatever character backstory you want. Fergus was maybe thinking his character wasn't going to work because it was introducing mind flayers, and my world is very much like giants versus dragons is kind of the theme. Don't care, like mind flayers can absolutely work. Just give me a location, tell me what happens, and I'll weave it into the story. The more you give me, the more fun you're gonna have. If you give me rivals and parents and problems and stuff, you'll walk into a bar and there's your dad that tried to stab you as a baby. You know, whatever. Like, whatever you give me, we'll work it in.
Got it. I'll keep in mind. Maybe come up with that. I don't have a proper background or anything right now, but I'll.
Oh yeah, you don't
try
need
to
it now.
find something.
We're probably gonna try and schedule our first game in like 2 weeks' time. So what would that Monday be? Not next Monday, but the Monday after.
Monday, or
Well, that week. That's starting.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I get
the
you,
week
yeah.
starting the 24th will be when we're trying to schedule like our first game.
yeah,
So if you have something for me, then, and if you want to add to it, that's no problem. Like I say, the more, if you're like, oh, that would have been cool, you know, you're all gonna start as level 1 anyway. So as long as you're not, I have killed 1,000 demons and I cannot die, and then I will
Yeah.
kill you on your first session if you tell me that.
I'm gonna have to change my character now. Fuck's sake.
You know, so just whatever. I was actually toying with the idea about starting you guys at level 0.
Oh really? That works really
Yeah.
well for me because my character is definitely. I designed him as like he's a red shirt. He's a commoner. He's a guard with a spear and a crossbow.
Yeah, same for me. I'm just a farm. Like, me and Alex are just farmers. So we do
Yeah.
fuck all.
Like, your hit points were gonna be 1 plus your constitution with a minimum of 1. Like, if you have a minus constitution, you can't go below 1. But like, it doesn't really vibe with the whole if you're a person of importance that's been drafted into the giants. So yes, just cliff notes if you don't want to watch the video back. You guys have been drafted for whatever reason on the side of the giants, and you guys will be starting the game in a stronghold known as Anam Drahadun. Spot the Lord of the Rings influences and the broken like kind of things. So as long as your backstory ends in Anam Drahadun, or you can just call it the Giant Stronghold if you can't remember the name, that's fine.
Oh, is the spelling for that in the Word document?
It is not, but I will put it in the handouts. Including what it means in common. Anam Drahadun is giant speak. Come on, laptop.
Oh, that is. I had so many things I was going to ask and I keep forgetting. Rangers pick up 4 languages, and I was wondering. This is a kind of a meta question, kind of an in-character question. In a world that's very giant and dragony, would it make in character? Would it make sense for my character to know either or both of giant and dragon? On a meta level, would it be annoying or cool for you as a DM to have a ranger who knows the secret language of your enemies?
So, actually, thank you for bringing that up. Everyone will have a passing knowledge in giant, as like a bonus proficiency because you're working in like a giant stronghold. Who knows how long you've been there? Or if you don't want to take it, if you're like, I literally walked in yesterday, I will leave that up to you. But you have the option to have an additional language proficiency. Taking the language proficiency of dragon, however, that's pretty sweet. Like, if you want to do that, that's totally fine.
That's fine.
There
I
we
think,
go.
yeah.
There it is in the handouts channel now.
Cool.
So I'm not usually this wrapped up. Our heating's busted at the minute, so I'm fucking freezing. So
Mm.
I have a hot water bottle on my lap and all as well, so I feel like an old woman.
Oh, I picked Giant and Draconic as well because you get to pick 2 languages. I was like, well,
I did that, and I was like, wait, that's so cheeky. I'm not going to do
Well,
that
no,
until I know
'cause
it's okay.
I figured I could get away with Giant because I'm a Goliath, so I'm gonna know Giant from that side.
Yeah, no, if that's what you guys want
And then
to
I was
pick,
like,
that's no
oh, maybe I
problem.
know Draconic as well.
I didn't want to do it, so I picked like common sign language and elf.
Yeah.
Sign language is a language.
Oh,
you
it's a
picked
new
before?
one. Common
Yeah.
sign language, which actually,
That's cool.
meta-wise, is more useful than most ones because you can be like and express something without speaking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I seen it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. We should actually
That is
definitely
very
have
cool.
Which, as a guard, if you've been like in SWAT ops, like,
I think so, right? Yeah. So my languages are going to be maybe Draconic and Giant because I live in a world like that, and there's a bit of Overlord tension. I think because he's a guard, he would have been walking around the city walls, looking at the ballistas and getting his crossbow maintained by gnomish kind of artisans and artificers. So gnomish, Draconic, Giant, and Common Sign Language, maybe, or something like that.
I really like that.
in
I
which
will
case you wouldn't
say,
know common.
if
Yeah.
if everyone picks Giant and Dragon, you're going to pigeon your hole yourself if like undercommon or something comes up. So just be careful you're not all doing the same thing. Because
That's
if I'm
fine.
like,
Okay.
there's a really important party hook in this language.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe I should say my tadpole gives me deep speech or some shit like
Do
that.
whatever you want.
Well,
Like, I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying like
Yeah, no,
feel
it's a good
free
point.
to coordinate. Like if you
I
guys
will say I have made this character work in point by, and then when I was thinking about, I'm going to be forced to roll for it, I'd rolled. This isn't my first roll. On my second or third roll, I rolled 1 - 2, which I put in charisma, and the rest are great. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not as long as you don't take the piss. I don't mind your
Yeah.
re-rolling as long as you're not. I'm going to re-roll until I get all 16s, at which point I'm going to
Yeah.
be like, no.
Yeah, you get all,
So
yeah.
I don't
I
mind. What was that, Dylan?
I rolled to start with. I got 15, 12, 11, 18, 9, and 14.
That's
So-
pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got. Sorry, good.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
13, 16, 14, 10, 15, 7.
Yeah, it works. That works.
It's
I'm
on the-
gonna,
it's
I'm
on the
gonna roll
upper
just
edge
to
of
see what I
average.
get, and then that
Yeah.
might.
Oh
And then
shit,
it's
are
good.
we
I might
rolling?
stick
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
No, so we're not rolling, and we're going to take a poll. If everybody wants to do point by, we can do point by. But I'm just trying to be like, well, I've locked in it, so I can start thinking about my character.
If you
But
wish to store those stats, fine. DM them to me. What if we get to a roll that you're happy with, but with the poll hasn't finished, DM them to me, and then you can use them. I'm not too precious about that sort of stuff. I'm just not actually sure how that'll work on D&D Beyond if you don't roll them live. Doesn't matter.
you can add groups, I think, and then
You could
share them.
manually enter them
Yeah.
though. You roll it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true as well.
I'm
Yeah.
Cool.
manually entered them.
So
You know what? I'm gonna change my vote. I'm happy with roll.
Not gonna lie, I think point.
Cause I've just got a 17, a 10, a 14, a 14, a 14, and a 13. So you know what? I'm good for that.
Nothing below 10. Yeah, why wouldn't you be? Yeah.
That's fair enough.
My highest roll was a 14 on the roll, so
Ooh.
that
So-
wasn't good.
When it comes to like meta stuff, I'm not like, you can't use meta speak at the table, but like just don't take the piss out of it. If you aren't
Yeah.
in the same room together, you don't know the same information. If you wanted to run and be like, I have a +5 to perception, that's fine. Takes us away out of the game mechanics slightly. If you wanted to try and communicate like, I have really good eyes, guys. That's really hard to do in game. So you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
I
So
can
don't mind
100% see that thing there. Don't worry.
that. So I'm not too worried about being like that. My thing would be more like trying to have knowledge that you don't have. Like, you know what? I don't trust Fergus's character because I know he has a tadpole in his head. Like, that's bullshit. Unless he tells you or he shows signs that you pick up on.
Yeah.
you're not gonna know. So that was just sort of feeding back to the coordinate your languages kind of thing. Whatever you do away from the table, I don't care. Just don't. I don't mind. Like I say, I don't mind meta talk at the table. Just don't take the neck out of it. Spend the whole time being like, I have a plus 17 to I was like, okay, cool.
Lovely.
Yes. Has anyone got anything else? We've been talking for about 45 minutes to an hour now. So, or do you want any more information from me? Strida, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, that's
Read.
actually very good. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
So, I doubt this will change your mind. But I have a couple of homebrew subclasses in mind. I've actually like 4 apparently.
Really?
That I've outlined at the start of the video. But just if there's a Path of the Runes giant, which is all about like when you rage, you like can grow sizes and stuff, and you choose a rune that specifies a giant type, and that'll give you certain things. It's all on D&D Beyond. Actually, I've properly written that one up. I've just not added all the class, individual class features that you pick. I've got one for Rangers, which is like a improved Beastmaster slash. What way did I put it? It's like dips into Warlock slightly, where you can have like otherworldly spirits come to your aid, and it's kind of swarmy, so you can have as many pets as your proficiency bonus, and you can start by only having one out at a time, and
That's pretty
then
good.
by the end of it, you can have all of them out to try and help your action economy and all, because Beastmaster is crap, but I really like it, so I wanted to improve it. I had a college of like atmosphere, or a college of amphitheater bard, which is all about like enveloping people in sound. So like you can give like discordant noise to enemies to like throw them off their game, and like disadvantages and stuff like that, or psychic damage. I haven't fully worked out the ins and outs of all of this one. Or you can do it on allies, like heal or give them advantage and stuff like that. And then there's another one that I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, like a dragon slayer knight, like fighter kind of deal. But the
Ooh,
only
the
one that's
Dragon Slayer Knight.
Mm.
That sounds pretty interesting because I was thinking either, but that was my primary one. But I was also thinking a melee fighter because
Mm.
I think we just got a barbarian, right? Nobody else.
Why can I
has a
hear
melee
Howard Shore in
fighter.
the background? Who's playing Lord of the Rings?
It's Chip.
Sorry,
Chip.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know concerning hobbits anywhere.
I think our only pure melee is a barbarian, but Alex isn't fully fixed on the barbarian as far as I'm aware.
Oh wait, oh, so Alex is a barbarian because I think Jack is a barbarian.
No, so I think
Right.
Jacques was very concerned about. Oh, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So he's
Yeah,
quite
so
happy to sort of.
if Jack is like fully in on I want to be a barbarian.
No, he's not. He's the opposite. He's like you. He's trying to be like polite and sensitive to other players. So I guess the
Yeah,
two of you can decide who really wants it.
I did take a long look at Ilrigger, and then I was like, I don't know how well that's going to fit in with the theme of the campaign. So I was like, oh, actually, I might go barbarian because I do enjoy being dumb smash guy.
Just remember,
My
someone has
other,
to be the face
I
of the
did,
party.
sorry. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if we've got any good charisma characters yet. My other two ideas were either my two plug and play ideas that kind of work everywhere. A very poison ivy-esque Circle of the Land Druid, which is basically wherever I go, I get a different spell list, and I'm very much like, yep, just Nature's Fury kind of idea. And the other one was my favorite, which is Tim Grimgut, kind of like Tim Nice but dim, who basically walks around going, "Oh, I'm a servant of Moradin, I am." But his backstory is like he went into a crypt, and the crypt like opened and skeletons came out. He's like, "Moradin has empowered me with the souls of the dead." And it's like, no, you are clearly being worked by a lich here. But he's too stupid to realize that. He's like, "Moradin, bless me, I will be with you."
I love that. I might kill your original character just to see that one come out.
That's my backup character. Why
Yeah.
do I keep getting targeted by power I kill? Don't know, no reason.
Like the only one that's fully fleshed out is the Path of the Rune giant. The Dragon Slayer Knight was gonna be like, you choose a color dragon, you get resistance to that, and then eventually you'll get like like advantage on that type of dragon, or maybe you'll get you can pick 2 dragons or stuff. I haven't fully fleshed it out yet. It's kind of been in the background, but if people were interested in those kind of homebrew classes, I would then make them on D&D Beyond. It's just making them on D&D Beyond has been a real fucking pain in the ass of that Path of the Rune one. So if anyone's interested in them, let me know. I had a Geomancer class, like a proper class I wanted to make, and I had the 3 subclasses in mind, but you can't actually make full homebrew classes, which is bullshit. It is what it is.
It's
Cool.
the Dragon Slayer does look interesting. So it's basically the rest would be similar to which class of fighter you'd say?
I don't know. Potentially champion. I like the idea of you having like such knowledge of dragons to be able to like roll better for crits and stuff like that. I've not
Yeah.
fully gone through it yet, but my gut is telling me more like a champion style.
Champion, yeah, makes sense. Because
Maybe a
I
wee
was
touch of
thinking.
magic in there as well, depends on what type of dragon you take.
How do you see it? The subclass campaign specific subclasses? Sorry,
The campaign, like as in the
the ones you
ones
made.
I've
Do I just
made.
search for? Do I just search on the
They
marketplace for non-metallic
should
subclasses?
they should show up for. I actually don't know how I can send you the subclass I've made. I've only made the Path of the Runes one. Which if you give me a second here, I'll throw it into the general chat.
Oh yeah, if you send, it's easier if you send the links to
Yeah.
your homebrews.
Although the weirdest thing keeps happening, I want to publish it, right? Especially considering I've nearly finished it, but it keeps telling me it's too similar to Circle of the
Patches.
Spores Druid.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like
You see, I
what the
damage
fuck?
rider on every hit or something. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really weird. I'm really happy with this one. If I was to be playing a barbarian for a campaign, I'd be asking the DM if I could play it because I really like it. But of course I like it. I made it. Yeah, the Path of the Runes is currently too similar to Circle of Spores to share with the community.
I thought when you're a master tier subscriber, you can
I'm a hero
you
tier.
can. Ah, okay.
Alex is the master tier. Get Alex to do it, and he can publish it.
God
Yeah.
damn it!
Or at least that, yeah, you can upload them or whatever.
I always end up being the homebrew monkey.
So the first half of the page will load is like the actual description, and the second half is the class features. I've not finished the class features yet. I've only done the level 6, but the description shows you it's got level 10 and level 14 in there as well. So just if you're wondering why it like looks like it repeats itself.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Level 6 is kind of broken. I'm not going to lie. If you're in the right position, level 6 is broken. You take a quarter damage if you're raging from fall damage. And then, like, you can, like, when you land, you, like, kind of like like a hero landing in a superhero movie. It, like, cracks the ground around you, and within, like, 10 feet, every creature takes, like, the maximum damage that you took. So if you fell... 20 feet? What's that?
2d6.
2d6? Yeah, they would take the 12 damage kind of thing. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Like, if you take the Hill Giant rune, you get 10 temporary hit points for every food item you eat, but it can't exceed your maximum hit points and stuff like that. But on level 10, when you get the improved rune feature, that it could go to twice your maximum hit points. So you just, before a fight, do a Skyrim, eat 17 cheese wheels. You know? So.
Yeah, that would be a
Well,
big,
also,
that would be a thing.
I just remembered that Dylan's character's a gnome artificer, so when you said you're like, oh, I know gnomish because I know a guy who used to fix my crossbow, that'll work out quite well in party.
Yeah, so if you wanted to be free cities, I was thinking maybe my guy would be from like a very large Waterdeep-esque free city, just like as a guard on a wall. So very much that could work.
I had the idea for a free city where the entire city was just dedicated to recording and studying the history of the world.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I don't mind. Yeah, I mean if we have a tie-in, that'd be quite cool.
I really
Yeah,
like that
it just
idea.
needs to be like a large enough city that they could, conceivably have like a guard force and like some level of
Especially
organization.
because straight away you were like, oh, I know a gnomish guy who fixes my crossbow, and then Dylan's like, oh, I've made a gnomish artificer.
Yeah.
He's like,
That actually, yeah, fair enough.
You've literally almost sort of like made your backstories already.
I've temporarily called the city Plink.
Plink? I like it.
I love
Works
it.
for you, man.
That sounds like a gnomish city to me.
Let
Plink.
me see. Let me pull up my map creator and I'll see if I can.
Plink.
Excuse me.
The enormous world-defining city of Plink, the nexus of all trade.
What am I using? Asgard's fantasy map generator. So I couldn't quite get Asgard's to work the way it used to because I've done several updates since I last used it. So I've only generated the continent so far, like one continent, the eastern continent. So I will take a couple of snapshots here of the free city locations and you can pick one when my laptop decides to load it. Come on, you nearly 10-year-old piece of work. I need a new laptop. Right. I got the provinces loaded. Sorry, it's just running dead slow. Give me a wee second.
I'm not entirely sure what Stu has got planned for his character, I should say. Hopefully he's going to watch this and kind of fit accordingly. He did try to approach me once being like, yeah, my character's basically if Daniel Day-Lewis was in an isekai, I got teleported into a D&D world. And I was like, I love it, but I'm not sure how well it works.
Cultural map, that's what I'm looking for. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Political map? Yeah, it's the political map. So, there's a couple of islands that are... But you're not going to be on an island because you're like a big free city. Dragon territory, so it's probably not.
I am also conscious of I don't want to bore any other players who aren't interested in the nitty-gritties of Dylan and I's backstories, but
Nice thing. I just haven't worked on a backstory yet, other than I'm a farmer.
So you've got.
Same here.
Hey, Michael, I'm a farmer too. Let's be farmers.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. These new origin feats mean there's a surprisingly high density of like farmers and sailors in this universe.
Hey, I'm a real
Can
life
we
farmer, so
start-
that works
Can we start
Yeah.
like a farming free city?
Hey,
What do you
to
got?
be fair, with all the stuff flying around in the sky, you could be sky pirates or sky farmers.
This is true.
Good. So this
The
is
Hilljoy farm of
No, Sky Pirates is what we're going to become halfway through the campaign.
ooh, that I
We
like
can
that. That
farm
like,
the clouds.
a Waterdeep city on this coast.
or there's
Like-
this one.
Plink and its sister city, the little nub called Plonk.
Or there's one that would work that's in dragon territory, and maybe you got like stolen in the night.
Well, I don't mind if it's a free city or if it's just like a very big city that's got a very, very laissez-faire kind of copper dragon overlord who's quite keen on knowledge or something like that. But
So-
if you're yeah.
I will send a spoiler-free snippet of what the giant continent looks like. Here we go. The green parts are giant, and the red parts that have kind of ebbed into the picture are dragon territory.
These are very, very small.
That is Lagana, the eastern continent.
Interesting. Well, it's one continent, but yeah.
Well, it's half of a continent. There's a wee land bridge that you'll see there that where green turns to red. Sort of like
Which is the red and which is the green?
the green
Red's dragon.
is the giants and the red is the
No. But which, like left or right?
What do you mean?
Colorblind.
Colorblind.
Oh, you're
Oh,
colorblind?
Left is green, so the one that's like much bigger than the other one.
Right.
Oh my god. Left is giant and right is dragon. I'm sorry, Michael. I did not realize you were colorblind. How long have you been colorblind?
All my life.
Ah, bro. So
And red and greens are like the kryptonite. They're the worst fucking thing for me.
maybe I'll recolor them.
Yeah, that's the most common kind of color.
Yeah, it's fucking torture.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I'm quite happy if you've got a backstory requirement for your artificeriness, completely go for it, and I will just plug in as a generic guard who is in that city.
You can pick where the city is, but it does need to be a free city based on our backstory.
Okay, that's fine. So I think it'll be a large free city on the coast that's maybe in a truce or a kind of carved out a nook for itself away from the war.
Well,
nice.
that first one then it's like far north on the big map, so that'd probably work because
I
it's
think so.
way away from where the war would be. over
Yeah,
there.
and then you can imagine that also that little chunk next to it that's also free could be like a little trading village or monastery or something.
That's the farm.
That's the farm. Well, I feel like if we're all free cityers and then we all go and work for giants, it's like damn, we really all are traitors to our. But
Or you
So maybe that
have
works.
like a reluctant, maybe it'll
Yeah.
change how you're seen.
I think
and-
my guy was the city turned his back on him and he's just like a bounty hunter in the wilds, not doing very much. I think probably he would have been friends with Odric when he was a guard, and then after he was kicked out and shut out, he'd show up and see Odric at the same place as him, and he'd be like, "Oh, not you, really? How the mighty have fallen.
rather-
Can't look him in the eye." Yeah.
That is how I always respond to Dylan. To be fair,
rather than having a bond,
I'll
you're gonna
remember
have a
that next time
rivalry.
you got a question with colleagues.
Excellent.
Yeah, has anybody
Well,
got-
also, yeah, can I just say thank you for running a campaign? I'm always very excited.
Yeah.
Always fun.
No problem. I hope it is enjoyable, and basically it really. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any problems with it, or if you're not getting what you want out of it, just come and talk to me. I'd rather you come and talk to me than do what other players have done to me and just stop showing up, or come to the table and spend the whole time on your phone. Like if there's something that's not vibing, just tell me.
that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
very excited to run it. I've had this idea for about a year, so it's nice to start putting some actual meat to the bones and see how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So
Groovy.
if that's where we're gonna end it, I will upload this to YouTube and I'll put it in. I don't know. I'll maybe make like a new text channel for it just for shits and gigs. And if you could just try and convince your friends to watch it, because otherwise they're not gonna have a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially the first like half an hour, because that's where we put out some real critical shit, including the entire setting for the campaign.
Yes. I have faith in some of them. No, I have faith in all of them, but I'll try and gently.
Just remember, this
Yes.
is being recorded, Fergus.
I did
If they
when
make
when
it to that
Sridhar
point.
when Sridhar woke up, I was definitely like, please show up because it looks like all of my players are just flaking.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about that sort of stuff. Like I say, as long as no more than 2 people drop out, we'll continue with the game session unless one of the people that drops out is like specific to their backstory or something. You know. But yes, get me your backstories within good time, and I will weave what I can into the game, and we will see what first exciting adventure you guys are sent on from the Giant Stronghold.
Amazing. Looking
Well,
forward
If
to it.
we plagiarize Disney in our backstory, can that still be uploaded to YouTube?
Yeah, as
You
long
can
as you
break
don't
out in a
like,
song, yes.
yeah, as long as you don't like upload a script or something, you'll be fine.
Okay.
I always forget to turn chip off, and you just get plagued with Discord notifications for like.
Yeah, and then in about an hour, we'll get a notification to say, "Oh, I've destroyed myself."
That's true. So I've had Chip muted for quite a while. I wonder if on the VOD it'll just be like full volume Chip the whole way through.
It should go off. This is what I'm slightly worried about. It should go off my desktop audio. I've spent a little bit of time messing around with like prefixes for OBS and like linking my phone as a second controller so I can like swap to like battle, which is basically our conversation in the bottom left and the majority of the screen taken up by D&D Beyond. I'm just hoping my laptop will survive it. It's been chugging enough tonight without really using above VTT, so we'll see. I'll get it. But if it's within this campaign, I'll get a new laptop, and it'll hopefully run faster. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy enough to leave it there,
Oh,
guys. Unless you've anything.
Now,
Yeah.
if we don't take the starting equipment and we take the gold,
Mm-hmm.
can we add the equipment we would have had? Or do we need to do that in like session 1? Or I go and buy the weapon I wanted?
No, I can trust I can trust that
It's
you've
almost not a
gone
magic
and
weapon,
like
yeah.
bought. Yeah, just like I said, just
Yeah,
Fergus
just because it's given me a great axe straight out. I'm like, I don't know that I want a great axe.
then don't take the great axe. Yeah, take the
Yeah.
gold and
Take the gold. I can
I
just
think